Hi guys, can you guys hear me? Sorry I'm late. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. You can hear me typing. Hi everybody, hope everybody is well. Thank you so much for joining me, Zuna, Canned Potato, Kismet, Kindness is Everything, Inquisitive, Little Mousy Girl, how are you? How are you doing? Cajun Heart. So is everybody doing well? Mrs. Tinman. Everybody doing good? I was literally wondering this about an hour ago, Justice for Vaughn. Yeah, I was actually, thank you so much. Kindness is everything. Before I get into everything, I don't want to be hurting anybody's feelings. Hi, Terry C. It's just dawned on me quite, it's been a while. Let me just say it's been a while that I've been thinking about Marvon and, every single day. Oh, that's very nice to hear, little mousy girl. And I pray for him every single day. So I was listening to a channel and it's like, how did everything move from everybody was so concerned about Marvon to just everything just being messed up? How did we move, you know, from having his well being on our hearts to nobody even talks about him now. Nobody knows where he is, how he's doing. I know he's in a coma, but still. So let's go back to the beginning. And if anybody wants to, I'll drop the link if anybody wants to join me. So when we first heard about the story, it was Molly Golightly and Justin reporting on the story, and then we got Katie Joy. So I believe Miss Leticia, actually, all this for her started in June, and people were, "Hi, FB, I'm Shilling Angel. Hope you're well." And everybody was like quite concerned about Marvon, and everybody was up in arms and livid to see the type of person Andrea McCray was portrayed to be. And how did all that just vanish? And all of a sudden, Andrea McCray became the victim in this whole situation. And that I still cannot wrap my mind around because the sad thing is that Marvon is still in a coma. What led him to be this way? Oh, Miss Kiesman, I hope I don't make you cry. And at the end of the day, he is still not the one that is able to talk for himself. But you got creators out here that's painting Andrea in such a positive light. And everybody else now is to blame, and especially Miss Leticia, the mother of Marvon, has become the villain in this whole story, which is very, very sad because at the end of the day, like I say, I don't know Miss Leticia. I've never spoken to Miss Leticia, but if you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, if I got to put myself in Miss Leticia's shoes or take her as a mother figure, it's like, what is she going through? Because at the end of the day, like I say, when this whole story broke, everybody's heart was for Marvon and they were sad for him. And then somebody's feelings got hurt and everything got messed up. So how come nobody's talking about him anymore? People are actually fending and taking up for the person that actually in my opinion, was the last to know exactly why he did this to himself. And unlike KJ, that actually said he did this to himself, the reason he's in this position is because of himself. So it's just very, very hard to accept and digest, because this whole story has just been, I don't want to curse, but it truly has been a hot mess. And now it's been, the thing that astonishes me is the conspiracy theories that have been thrown out there now. Because as of late, the two people, and the reason why I got Tweedledee and Tweedledum as my thumbnail is because, in my opinion, Katie Joy fucked this all up herself. Just because her feelings were hurt and she cannot handle rejection. Because at the end of the day, as I heard from, let me back up. Katie Joy was the one to actually introduce people to nonsense on the web. And she came out swinging, and she's still coming out swinging. And her latest conspiracy, or her latest theory, and catch this, you guys, is that Molly Golightly, and I'm not coming to Molly Golightly's defense, I'm just telling the story, is that Molly Golightly had actually infiltrated Michelle Sabat, whatever her last name is. She actually put her in there as a ploy to distract from the whole fraud situation. Does that even begin to make sense? So Molly took this person, who in my opinion is definitely not well, and put her in to cause a distraction from the fraud that has been created. What fraud? Has anybody done an investigation and proven that fraud has occurred? Not to my knowledge. So then you get Unirock that inputs himself, okay, and from the get-go doesn't do his own research, goes off of hearsay. And up till this day, Unirock is still attacking Miss Leticia. There's always been the perspective of Jay that Leticia was a villain. Marvon wouldn't want for others to be hurtful towards his mother. I totally agree. Anyone who was a mother is cut to the bone. He had helped. If he did it to himself, he was a casualty of power play, mother and wife. Exactly. So I refuse to watch any of those ghoulish channels that are horrific dark beings with zero respect or compassion. Yep. Hi, Makita. I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm slimming down. Oh, you're my next best friend. I wonder every day how Marvon and his family, especially children, it's sad that his condition is just thrown out the window because everyone is fighting. Exactly. And they all treat Michelle like crap, and that's very sad and rude. Fraud my big fat boots because it's bigger than a foot. And you know, you guys, as I said, from the time Katie Joy came in this, she went and exposed, or she put on blast, as per Katie Joy. You know, she felt butthurt. She felt like she was no longer the head bitch in charge, so she had to take it a step further. And that's when she released Marvon Sr.'s criminal record. She went and put Miss Leticia on blast. How relevant is that to where Marvon is? How relevant is that? Because let me tell you something. You see, somebody showed a video of Jay actually talking to her husband about his life and what happens between him and his mother. A decent person would not put that on social media. That's between husband and wife. And correct me if I'm wrong. But because Jay's life is social media, she puts everything on social media. How can now people forget? Because you get certain channels that only put the good things about Jay and Marvon. And don't get me wrong, you could see Marvon was a family man. He wanted the best for his family. He loved his wife. And there's nothing wrong with that. But how come that was not reciprocated when Marvon needed the help? When he cried out for help? When he knew what he needed? Why did his wife not help him out? Angie is doing the right thing by maintaining her husband's privacy. That is a right, and it's the right thing to do. And I totally agree. But, Miss Jean, why did she even? She's a public figure. Not, I won't say, but she put their whole life on social media. Okay, but she was also the one to actually come out and talk about it, saying what happened. Because don't you think people are now going to be concerned? Only now she wants her husband's privacy. Why only now? After everybody knows what's going on, people are concerned about him. I want the best for him. I don't know what may come of him, but I feel even though he's in a coma, he deserves to have people there with him every day, family, friends, people that love him. Did anybody ever put themselves in Miss Leticia's shoes, knowing the life that she led, knowing the choices that she had to make? Does anybody think about how she feels, the guilt she feels? And maybe now is the time that she wants to be there with her son, day in and day out. Those were not easy choices to make, people. I can't even begin to imagine. But are we going to villainize her for doing that? To hear people on a daily basis calling you all these kinds of names just because you opened your heart, you opened your mind, you opened your arms to people you thought wanted to help you. And unfortunately, in my opinion, they used Miss Leticia for their own selfish gain. And then when things started going awry, they just threw Miss Leticia to the curb. Miss Leticia, I don't know her. As I said, I haven't spoken to her. But you can only imagine what she feels. And peace talk, this is the heartbreaking thing for me. Is that if it took Andrea a whole month to come out and let her audience know what happened to her husband, the man that people are loved, adored, if something, God forbid, if something does bad happen to him, when will they find out? Will these parents even know? But you have these people out here that's painting her to be the victim. I have watched so many videos. You guys, I will put the link in my description of Truth Seeker. She always uploads videos of Andrea. There's such a difference between when Andrea was heavyset and when Andrea, the way she is now. There's a major difference in her. Major, major difference. I feel a huge injustice has been done to Marvon. Oh, Kismet, we're thinking the same thing. A huge, huge injustice has been done to Marvon. Now we don't even know if Leticia's even getting updates. That's his mother. Amen. And people want to throw out to say that she does not have any right. Who has the right to tell her what right she has and what she doesn't have? Yes, as much as a family, he can never know who or what will spark him to fight to come back in some level. Mother was there when he took his first breath, his first cries, and she should be allowed there. Amen. From what we know from things shared by Marvon, he was trying to reconcile with his parents. They need updates. But nobody's gonna look at that little mousy girl. Nobody's gonna look at that. They just gonna look at now. They're looking for the next villain. And the next villain right now is Molly Golightly. Molly Golightly was the one to actually come and cause all this bullshit. No. Katie Joy was the one to come and cause all this bullshit. Period. Leticia in the past uses a whipping board like to line KJ and other pockets for clicks and views. Exactly. It's truly disgusting what is happening to Miss Leticia. Yep. My birth dad was 15 when I was born and tricked into signing ways right. And I remember seeing a car drive past my home as a kid. It was him. He would park at my school to get a glimpse of me. Oh, that is so sweet. Oh, oh, thank you so much, Slippery. Hope you're well. He wrote me letters every holiday birthday, but never saw until I was in adult. Wow. Hi, Christy S. Hope you're well. Ambriel T. Hi, Ambriel. The sad thing is that this is and always was a family issue that was brought to YouTube. Yep. It was brought to YouTube. And who brought it to YouTube? These Facebook people, you know, because they wanted to get back at apparently Dre. But look at what all this has caused. Look at what all this has caused. Because at the end of the day, Marvon is still alone. His kids, didn't they? I'm sure this month she had a court date with the dad. I'm sure it was the 6th of October. But nobody knows nothing. Nobody will ever know anything or it just breaks my heart knowing that Marvon is there day in and day out by himself. How is that even okay? Why is that okay? I don't think it's okay. Now everybody's back and forth with each other, and all these that are for Dre is going after everybody else. And look at the chaos it caused just by people not being specific in regard to the police report. For me, it was, excuse me, it was just so unnecessary, but it ended up the way it ended up. People fighting with each other, and it just was not fair. It's just not fair. It's absolutely not fair. I will never look at KJ the same. Not that I had any respect to begin with. What she has done to Miss Leticia is criminal. No matter what KJ says in the end, I will never believe a single word she says. And you're not alone, Megan. You're not alone. And the nonsense friends are making it still worse by harassing Miss Leticia. Exactly. When she made that post, Nonsense on the Web made that post about Miss Leticia's civil lawsuit. What the fuck was she thinking? But even saying she was trying to get ahead of the game or something to that effect. What were you trying to get at? This is the internet. People are not going to look at your best interest, or you may wanting to put this out there and telling them, oh no, this is it's not relevant. It shouldn't have even been posted if it wasn't relevant. It was my grandparents who adopted me, and my birth parents, being so young, I had no idea they were signing away the right to be part of my life, but I love them the same. Oh. I have the utmost respect for Miss Leticia for realizing she could not raise him at the age of 15 and allowed her mother to provide the care he needed. That was a true sacrifice. Now, one would wonder, it was Miss Leticia's grandmother that actually adopted Marvon because she had lost her own mother. And I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So it's just a sad thing. How can you be so selfish not to visit all the kids when his mother could hold his hand, wash him, sing to him, love him instead of being alone? Amen. Oh, thank you, Miss Gina. That's my daughter. That's where she gets ready in the mornings. She wants to stir the pot with her own agenda. Amen. And it worked. It worked. Because look where everybody is today. You got nonsense on the web that's putting out all this information. Now going, you know what? Molly has her own issues, okay? Molly has always done this for years. Whatever they accusing Molly of, she has done this for years. So because they can't prove what they set out to prove by saying Miss Leticia's a scammer, they haven't proved that. That Andrea is the victim of what? What is Andrea the victim of? And then Annie's antics, yes. You'll want to say Molly's trash, but Molly has been doing this for so long. Why only now? Is she being used as a scapegoat? Because all these, and I'm not disagreeing with you. That's how you feel. I cannot take your feelings away. But this has to do with Marvon. Why are people trying to hold other people responsible? Because they cannot get their set in stone that Andrew is not the one for all this happening. They keep moving the goalpost. Miss Leticia, calling her a scammer. She doesn't want to show proof. But the same people, Unirock, his words, he says, even if she does show proof, we're still not going to let her off the hook because of all the chaos she has caused. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. How many times does the teacher ask these people to just please leave it alone? But they couldn't. And this is the United States of America, you know. What do they say? Innocence until proven guilty. But from the get-go, these people have classed Miss Leticia as a scammer. They cannot leave her in peace. Unirock has started reporting this, 2 months ago. He kept saying, next week I'm going to have a video out. I'm going to have proof. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. Bullshit. 2 months later, he still hasn't done shit. Let me know if you get my message. Sure will mind of matter. I would love to know how Marvon. You know what? And all we can do is just continue to pray for Marvon. Continue to pray for him. KJ needs another distraction from the 7M lawsuits. Yep. Unirock jumped in and started the fuckery that Molly had the scam going on. Now, Molly, in my opinion, has backed off because of that. And why did Unirock start this bullshit? Because he admitted himself that Katie Joy gives him information. So he's just as much of a fool. Exactly. Now, Molly isn't a good rep for them. And unfortunately, maybe they learned that the hard way, and his antics. Calling Mr. Shisha everything but a child of God, but we can all call KP. Because Molly creates a circus out of one tragedy, and she did it to lie her own pockets, clicks, and views. So tell me something. And we're having a decent conversation. I'll put the link in if anybody wants to join me, okay? If it's all about clicks and views for Molly, a whole lot of people, she didn't just do it for Miss Leticia, she didn't do it for herself. She did it for the Jacksons as well. So, how do we know who gained and who did not gain? We obviously know Miss Leticia and Wynette and Mr. Jackson, they did get money, but was for a cause. There wasn't, as I heard from Nonsense on the Web today, all the fundraising started from the Facebook side. And how come they're not accusing those people, the Facebook group, when they were helping Miss Leticia fundraise at that time? Why aren't they being accused of scamming? Why only Molly, Justin, and whoever else? Why? There was never a lawyer, never any proof one was actually hired. So, when it was reported to us that Miss Leticia was going to see Marvon, and the attorney actually came, let me get this right. Hi, Annie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Renelle. How are you doing, hon?
I'm good. Let me just finish this before I go on.
Okay.
Where was I going? I even forgot. Annie, go ahead. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, hon. I don't know what's going on with. I guess I'm a little late to the party here. So what's going on with Vaughn? I mean, Marvon. Have you? I mean, have you got new news?
No, I don't have, and that's the thing. It's like, that's why I'm saying, where is Marvon? Because everything has been shifted around, you know?
I get it. I
These
get it.
people that were there to say everybody that's reporting on Marvon is reporting false information. Dre is the one that's the victim. But they have moved the goalpost so many times. So
And
many people. Go ahead.
exactly, girl. Exactly. What is going on? This is why Molly Go Lightly. I don't know why people follow her. I don't get it. She's a life coach. Well, I don't want her to coach me in my life. I don't want her to do a kids show where she's got to worry about coaching my kids to be like her. Oh hell no. I, I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen. But I was just wondering what was going on, hon. I love you to death, and I know I don't want to interrupt your live. You're doing a wonderful job.
No, you're fine. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, I just wish everybody would take a look. I mean, if this was your family that was going through this, you would not want somebody like Molly Go Lightly or anybody like that to represent your family.
And I get it. Molly Golightly is not an everybody's cup of tea. And I'm not coming to her defense, but what I'm not going to do is get on the bandwagon of bashing people. That
Right,
I'm
you're
not going to
exactly
do.
right.
You know, there are so many people now. It's like everybody is going after Molly. And for those people that's going after Molly, go ahead, have at it. But I am not going to jump on that bandwagon. I have not seen in this situation, in this Marvon situation, I have not seen Molly con anybody out of anything. Out of the goodness of her heart, she fundraised. She did what she needed to do for Miss Leticia. Then everybody,
But the focus was lost off of Marvon.
say again,
I said, but the focus was lost on Marvon. It should have always
exactly.
been about Marvon and not about who's doing what. Or, I mean, we should not have come after Dre, his wife, because we don't know what she's going through, honestly, folks. We don't know what she's going through.
We
She's
don't.
got children with him. We don't know what she's going through. We don't know what her life is like because nobody can report on her. But all
Hmm.
we hear, and I hate to hear, I hate to hear that his mama. has been sick and going through all this. But it's just like everybody needs to back out. And this was going on in your life. It was nobody would want this.
Right. Oh, Megan, thank you for reminding me. That's what I was talking about. When it was reported to us, I'm sorry, Miss Annie, I am so sorry.
That's
When it
fine,
was
hon.
reported to us that Marvon could go, my bad, Miss Leticia could go see Marvon, that was set up by the two attorneys, by an attorney that Miss Leticia retained and by Dre. So why do people still want receipts for attorneys? It's like,
Girl,
does it make any sense now? And
no, it
yes,
doesn't.
wait, just hold on, Miss Rhonda. Rhonda, where are you, Rhonda? Out of the goodness of her heart, she made 18,000 in 1 month and bragged about it. This is YouTube. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't make money on YouTube, Rhonda? It's like, come on, are you going to be this fucking petty now? You know, Marvon is still laying there in a coma. Unirock himself was on Molly's channel. And Unirock was the one to say himself, if I made that money, I would use that money for anything else I needed to. Didn't he say that? But as soon as he's off with Molly, he talks shit because my 14-year-old is more of a man than Unirock will ever be.
Thank you, Renelle. Thank you.
Unbelievable, man.
I agree with you there. That Unirock, he is a piece of work, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm still confused as to why the entirety of the internet and the personal biases of others are still interfering with the family's personal business and struggles. I mean, at the end of the day, Uncle Sal, you know, we were given the story. And me as a person, it's like, not a day goes by I don't think of Marvon. You know, him laying in that bed in a coma by himself. And only because his wife is so fucking selfish that she doesn't want his family because of her feelings towards them. It's like, this is not, in my opinion, this
That's
is not
petty.
the place.
That's petty.
Hi, without a crystal balls. Hope you're well. So good to see you.
Well, hon, I'm gonna get off here, but I wanted to jump in and say hello to you. I love your videos, hon. I'll talk to
Thank
you
you, Miss
later.
Annie. You have a wonderful evening.
You too, hon. Bye bye.
Bye. Sadly, if Marvon was active duty, there would be an investigation and a colonoscopy of the slimy side pieces. And that's sad. And this too also just, you know, makes my blood boil with Unirock. Isn't there something with the military? You know, if you're supposed to be brothers in arms or something like that. How the fuck do you think, God willing, Marvon comes back and he finds out that his fellow military, whatever, was doing this to his mother? Seriously? Unbelievable. I see some passive aggressive going on here. What? Rhonda, maybe you should skip. Leticia wanted Molly to bring her story to the forefront so she could see her son. Amen. Ma'am, I have 3 subscribers here on YouTube, so no, try again. Rhonda's making money on YouTube, not unheard of. I just absolutely know. Oh, yes, ma'am, you support that. Rhonda, do you not have anything else to do? It's like, come on. How can unis non-payment of child support? You'll need to stop. Rhonda's just here to argue. I don't think anything else is going on YouTube, but she has to be here. Yeah, it's just very, very unfortunate. And if you guys have to go and wait, hold on. What is going on? Hold on. Sorry, guys. I promise you, I don't mean to be rude. Sorry about that. Alby, do you think you can come up for a few minutes? Because at the end of the day, it's like, as I said to you guys, not a day goes by that I don't think of Marvon, and Marvon being in that bed by himself. And this is just, it's just not the time. Not the time. And as I was saying, I was watching Truth Seeker, and she puts all these videos out. And you guys, there is such a difference with Andrea McCray when she, as I said, was heavy set. She was this absolutely the sweetest person going. She was so, so fun. To where she is now, what changed? What changed? And another thing is that, I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but who the fuck cares? What about those kids? It's like, what they do, they're at home every day. There's nothing for them. They're just there with their mother. They don't have anything to, I mean, I don't know. I don't live in their house. I will never know. But her diet and the crap she forced on her family. You know what, Sean, I am actually beginning to think that. I think she took it way too far. And, hi, Helen. It overtook her. What about the kids? Because I was just watching the disappearance of Quentin. How CPS failed that kid. CPS fails a lot of kids, a lot of kids. How can people even forget now when it was shown to us in clips how they left the kids home alone and they went to Vegas? What about that? The alkaline diet, the kratom in the house was not a good thing. And I think, and this is just me, but Marvon needs his mum. I agree. I agree. Mental illness is a real thing, and people tuned into Dre's public spiral for entertainment. It's really sad. And without crystal balls, that's exactly what they're doing with Michelle. They're doing the exact same thing with Miss Michelle. This is so sad. It is so, so sad. I'm sorry. Because once again, I'm going to say, Marvon can't speak for himself. Alby, do you want to come up? I've only been live for about 45 minutes now. Michelle, why do you say the hog without a crystal balls? This is very sad. She is very, it's very sad. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just shameful to see how everybody's moving the goalpost. Yes, once again, Molly has done fucked up things, Molly is thing, but I'm not getting on that bandwagon of coming at her now because everybody seems to want to come at her and saying that she's doing this for money. Molly has been doing this for a long time. Why? What is so different now? Because those people that said they were set out to show that all this is a whole scam and Miss Leticia's doing, they can't come out with the fucking truth. So they'll have to find victims to blame on this. Nobody's doing the right thing to find out the truth. Did Miss Leticia scam? What can you do if people want to donate? They want to help her. I'm going to drop the link for you, Alby. I did drop a link for Alby. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair. Honestly, it's not. KJ thinks Molly knows the story. Well, that's what I said in the beginning, Terry, because she couldn't fucking be the head bitch in charge. And it's sad. It's so sad. Maxwell's coming. That who in their right mind, when, thank you so much, Slippery, how did nonsense on the web come out? Hi, Lama girl. How did this person come out and say that Michelle is a ploy from Molly Golightly to distract people from the fucking fraud? Who does that? Where did she get that from? Oh, Ariel, you're too cute. Hi, Alby.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You look beautiful as per usual.
I have a loop. I can't hear you though. I mean, I can if I have my mic up, but then it plays on a loop. I've never had this problem before. Let me see if I can figure it out. I've never had this problem before. Earlier I did a live and I had a guest on, and the same thing happened. My husband had to come fix it. There we go. I fixed it. I'm so proud of myself because normally I can't fix anything. How are you doing, Renelle?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
So I'm glad to see that you're talking about Vaughn, because I feel like that subject just kind of went away and nobody's really talking about it anymore. But I feel like, some people's kind of scared to touch it.
And that's the thing, Alby, that I've been, it's bugging me that everybody else, it's like the goalposts have been moved now. Okay. They can't prove, or they don't have the proof to say that Miss Leticia is a scammer. She scammed all these people out of money. But they still want to paint everybody else. Now, Molly Golightly is now the victim, the one that everybody is attacking. Because once again, I'm not coming to Molly Golightly's defense. She did what she needed to do. She helped Miss Leticia. And the other day, I saw this on, maybe I shouldn't be catching and carrying, but I did hear it on the stream, so why not? So down the rabbit hole news actually wants to know, why is Molly mentioning you? What do you have to say about that?
Mentioning you or
So
me?
you, because
Oh, okay.
apparently, what's her name? Molly came and said how you, Justin, and Molly fundraised for Miss Leticia. But wasn't that the goal, to help Miss Leticia?
When I joined, which I didn't join. When my moderator actually told me about Vaughn, so my moderator followed these I guess the Justice for Vaughn thing before I knew about it. And she was like, "You got to look into this. You got to look into this." Normally, I don't cover stuff like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when she started telling me about it, I was like, "Oh my goodness." Obviously, him being a Marine spoke to me, you know, because my husband's military, ex-military, or I don't like to say ex, but he was in the military. So I started listening to the audios, and there was this one particular audio that I really was like, oh, yeah, I need to cover this. So I did my initial video on it, and then on that video, Molly commented on it and was like, really good video. You know, hit me up. You can join our panel. Now, on that initial video, like I didn't know that they were like fundraising for anything at that time. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think. I know I didn't have any cash apps or in that initial video, I never said like, hey, you know, send money to the family. But now when I started watching like Justin and Molly, I did notice where they were saying, like, if you guys want to help out, feel free to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Going back at that time, the way that I looked at it, it seems like there wasn't even, I don't even think it was like lawyers being talked about at that time. I think it was just like trying to visit, you know, if she can
Right.
visit, this is going to be costly, and people donating for that. And then it came in like, oh, you know, she may need to get lawyers. But I don't feel like I ever remember it just being, it's only for lawyer fees. It
No.
was help them out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I did my first live, I didn't have anybody's cash app up because my mind was just more focused on like, you know, I felt like they didn't really do much of an investigation concerning Marvon. You know, when the police showed up, I just wish there would have been like they didn't go in and ask the children anything. And I kind of get like, you know, the police was like, well, we didn't want to disrupt the children. I do get that, but at the same time, you're police. If someone committed attempted, you know, I just felt like they should have did more of an investigation. So I was bothered by that. And I did know that Miss Leticia was trying to get like information to figure out what was going on with her son. And she was not, you know, she was being met with a lot of resistance. And so was Marvon's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my first live when somebody said, do you have the Cash App? Like, hey, do you have the Cash App? We want to help. And my mod, Candy, messaged me on my phone and said, hey, Hale, there's several people asking for the Cash App. You know, can you get it? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I sent it to Candy, and then she was posting it. I never really pushed a lot as far as like people donating. But I know some people did, which that was, you know, whatever. I didn't a whole lot just because I really didn't. I don't know. I feel like I did want to see her be able to fund a lawyer if that's what she needed. I highly felt like that was what she needed. But I am so reluctant to ask people to fund anything because of the community and how they treat you if you do that. I mean, if
Right.
I'm like, hey guys, let's help her out. If you can send anything, please do that. They'll clip that and then they're like, she's a scammer, you know. So I've always been kind of reluctant to do that. But I kind of felt like it was happening without me having to do that. And I did see that she was getting a lot of people that was, you know, donating to her. But I never got the feeling that there was any scams involved in this. As far as like people taking money or people using money for ways that they shouldn't have. You know, when I
But
was
whose
covering this,
business is it really? I mean, if people are donating to you, it can't just be. I mean, it just makes total sense. You know, she went and she
mhm,
saw her son.
yeah,
That's no secret.
right,
I remember Molly was on a live and Miss Leticia, you know, hit her up and said, you know what, I'm getting in my car now. I can't take this. I'm heading
I'm
out.
going.
So instantly, I remember that live. And once again, you guys, you're going to come off me saying I'm sticking up for Molly. I'm not sticking up for Molly. These are the facts, you know? Molly and Justin went on to see if they can get airfares, how much it'll be for them to fly, and raise money for them if they're all gonna drive. And it's like, what is wrong with that? It's reaching out to people in need.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Yeah.
majority of the time now, it's like, what do you want? What do you want? This man is still in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
You've completely forgotten about him. You've
Right.
got the heat off of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the other day I was watching a video where she's telling people how she's handed all her sins over to Jehovah. What fucking sins are you talking about?
She's did what?
She handed all her sins over to Jehovah. Her sins are forgiven.
Oh, okay.
Who would say something like that?
What
What
sins is she
sins are you
talking
talking
about?
about?
Does she have like a main sin that she's referring to? I mean, because
You
like,
know, that's weird for anybody to say. Me, I swear, like I say, I can tell you every night that I am asking for God for forgiveness. But it's not anything like,
that you would
what
jump on
do
a
you
live and
mean you've
say,
handed your sins over? And what in the fuck is it anybody, sorry, Al, sorry,
I
chat.
know. I'm
Is
good.
it anybody's business whoever gave donations? Who the fuck are you to tell those people how to feel because they donated?
Yeah, and that was my understanding as well. Is how this big situation came about the donations. Um, First off, in my opinion, that would not have even happened if Katie would not have started that. Katie went to her audience and told them that when she reported it to Cash App, they found that there was fraud. That was not true. Cash App, if they would have found, or not Cash App, GoFundMe, if
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe would have found with certainty that there was some sort of fraud involved, they would have shut that down. I
And they
read,
haven't shut anything down. So I
right.
would love to know what excuse she gave that they gave her money back.
I think when you do a GoFund or when you donate to a GoFund, you can request your money back. And if you give like a decent enough answer, I guess they don't want, the back and forth of it being an issue. So if they feel like maybe you give a decent enough answer, they'll give you that money back. But I went through GoFundMe and I went through all like the whole page, reading everything. And it said that if it finds that you have violated like GoFundMe's rules, or if it's like a fraudulent fundraiser, they will shut it down. So I feel like Katie going and stating it as facts that because that's what she did. She said, "Oh, they found that it was a fraud going on here." Obviously, everybody watching her immediately took that as facts when it
Yeah.
wasn't. So then her people started going, believing, okay, what's been proven? It's a fraud, right? Because that's what Katie said. Katie said GoFundMe told her that. So it's a fraud. Let me go get my money back. But from my understanding, when Miss Leticia started getting refunds, she was just hitting like, okay, okay. And she didn't even double check to make sure that these were people that had actually donated because she was
Mm-hmm.
getting requests,
Right.
request for $50, I donated to you. So she would just pay it thinking that it was someone that actually had sent her money. And then when she finally got in touch with like Cash App and they went over everything with her, it come to be that some of these people that requested money had not even sent money to her. They jumped in on this like, oh, we know everybody's requesting money. If we request, we can get something. The same way people made fake cash apps to look like hers. There were people out there knowing that Miss Leticia was getting money through Cash App. So what did like 7 or 8 people do? They made a Cash App that was super identical to hers as a way to get some of this money. So anyways, when she found out that some of these people had not even paid her, I remember seeing this. She was live with Molly and they were talking and she was saying this. She was like, come to find out, some of the people that I refunded did not even send me money. Everybody said shut it down for now, just make it to where they can't request money from you for now. So that's what she did. And then I know there was some messages that came out from like the Justice for Vaughn Facebook page where she was like in direct communication with them, being extremely transparent with them. Miss Leticia was like, she was showing them the refunds that she was sending to people. She was sending them screenshots. This person asked for a request. I sent it. So, I know a lot of people's like, well, she's not being transparent. Well, she's not being transparent with the entire community because she don't know everybody, but she
Right.
was being transparent with people that she felt she could trust. And that being some of the people from the Justice for Vaughn Facebook page, which is the same thing that I've done at times. And there's been times where I show people that I trust something, but I don't show the entire, because you know what? Not everybody in the YouTube community is your friend. There's
Right.
some people that's waiting for that proof to twist it, to make it look like something else. I don't blame her for some of the things, for maybe just showing it to a few people that she trusted and not putting it all out there. Because
Mm.
unfortunately, you cannot trust everybody in this community. And she don't know all these people. This is a new situation to her. She's never been in YouTube and dealt with all of this. She's dealing with her son who's,
Exactly. And that's what I was saying is that, she's just going to accept anybody's help that's wanting to help her, not knowing that people look at the Facebook group. In my opinion, I feel they've just used her. So why isn't these people saying, oh, but the book group that started a fundraising for her, why have they not been accused of scamming?
yeah.
But it's all about Molly Golightly, because Molly Golightly is the person that has all this baggage on her. So let's go after Molly Golightly. Go after Molly Golightly for the right things,
But and
not for something.
some people are going to go after the people that gets them the views, you know? And I think people having, um, going after Molly, it gets them views. I mean, I already looked at that with Unirock's channel. Somebody posted it on Twitter a while back when he first started going after me, Molly, and Justin. And the views before that for like 6 months out was
Yeah,
maybe, if he
I saw
was
that.
lucky, he would get 1,000 views
Hmm.
every once in a while. But before that, it was 300 views, 200 views, maybe 1,000. It was literally every once in a blue moon 1,000. But then the first video on, Molly or me, Molly, and Justin, 5,000 views, 6,000 views, 5,000 views. So of course he's going to ride this train. And that's the thing
Yeah.
is, someone actually left me a comment saying that I rode that train as long as I could.
What?
Yeah, somebody left me a comment saying that I rode the Marvon train, going on Molly's panel as long as I could to get as much money as I could out of it. And I'm like, first off, go joining someone else's panel. You don't get money for that. I've never been paid to be on someone else's panel. So all the days that I didn't work on my channel to go on Molly and Justin's channel, those were days that I could have been working on my channel. I could have been live talking about it, or I could have been putting up other content that I didn't because I wanted to, be there bringing awareness to the situation and talking about it. But yeah, somebody left a comment saying that I rode the Marvon train to try to make as much money as possible. And I was like, dude, you have no idea. I did like 4 videos. Like, what are you talking
Uh-huh.
about? But that's why I mean, people's going to continue going after who makes them money. Some people I feel like have channels that they really put their heart and soul into, and it's a cause that they believe in. And then some people have their channels and they just do whatever they can to get whatever views they can to put a little money in their pocket. You know, and I feel like Unirock, in my opinion, is one of those channels that he will go after whoever he has to go after to get the views that he wants to get to make his Red Bull money. And what's so crazy is Unirock goes after people for, helping others and doing fundraisers, but he's constantly asking for donations. So why can
Constantly.
Unirock ask for
Constantly.
donations, but nobody
Hmm.
else can? Like, what makes
Yeah.
him the donation police? Like, to say who can?
Because he's the king of exposing fraudsters.
He is the king of exposing. Who has he ever exposed? Like, do we know? Like,
That's
really?
something I've also like to know, because I'm just reading one of the comments here. Somebody said that Nonsense on the Web was bragging about she exposes fraudsters on Facebook. I'm like, who did she expose? Because the theories that she's coming out with, I don't know if you were here earlier on when I said she came out with the theory that Molly Golightly used Michelle Sabate, whatever,
Yeah, I'm not sure how you
as
say it
a
last name.
ploy to distract from the fraud that they were creating.
Okay, this is my opinion. I don't know how that could be possible because that is so like that is just that whole situation is just so like crazy and doing what it wants to do and doing the most. Like I don't know how that could be a ploy. I mean, that is
I was like, how do you even come up with that?
I don't know.
This woman
That's
is obviously a lonely, sad, troubled woman
mhm.
who was seeking Molly's attention. She needed a friend. She wanted a friend, and unfortunately, she zoned in on Molly. And unfortunately, Molly rejected her, and that spiraled everything. But when she went to uni played her no mind. Took her super chats,
Of
took her
course.
super chats,
Of
but
course.
never gave her the time of day until she went and she created her own channel, and that's how everything is unfolding now.
I,
It's just very sad.
I don't pay attention to a lot of it, but I hear about it and I watch little clips every now and then. But to say that Molly used someone else as a ploy to distract whatever was happening. Molly is a has a big enough personality that she don't need anyone else. If she wants to cause a scene to
Mm-hmm.
distract from one thing, she could do it all on her own. She don't need someone else. Um, and yeah, I actually dropped in on Nonsense's channel not too long ago. I didn't know really about it because I really don't keep up with this like I probably should. I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, people will tell me about things, but I heard about the Nonsense channel, and what I heard was that a lot of people was thinking that it was Katie, right? So I pulled up to the gas station. I had just left the house. We had a lot going on that day. So I was like, I'm just going to open YouTube for a little bit, see what's going on. I'm sitting at the gas station and I see that Nonsense is live. And I'm like, oh, like, does this creator go live? Because I've heard that people think that it's Katie. I'm going to listen to see if I can
Mm.
figure out if I think that it's Katie. I thought that I had asked Sean one time, like, hey, because Sean keeps up with stuff. I thought I'd asked him one time, though, hey, this Nonsense channel, did they talk about me? Do they like me? Yes or no? Because I'll ask him that sometimes. Like if I see channels that talks
Mm-hmm.
about things that may involve me, I'll be like, hey, they like me? Yes or no? You know? So I thought I asked him that. And he said, yeah, I ain't never heard him say anything bad about you. But he said that it was down the rabbit hole. And this was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe even
Mm.
longer than that. Um, so I thought it was Nonsense channel. And I was like, yeah, Sean said they ain't never said nothing bad about me. So maybe they don't dislike me. But come to find out, she has said some things about it. She called me a scammer. I didn't know that at the time, though. So I click on it. I'm listening. And what they're talking about is a channel name like she's like, we need a channel name like this something mafia or something. So I commented thinking I could just put my little comment and go unseen in the chat, you know. And I'm like, what about the Nonsense crew or something? And then this little emoji. And then of course, as soon as I posted it, hey Alby, hey Alby, hey Alby. And I'm like, geez, well darn. I'm not gonna be inconspicuous in here, you know, everybody sees me. And so she's talking, and then she notices and she goes, hey, Albie, very friendly. She was very
Mm.
friendly. And there was people saying, like, oh, you owe Katie an apology. And I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah, and she even said, she was like, no, and Katie was in there, which I couldn't see Katie because I have her blocked. But I seen people responding to Katie. So I knew that she was there. And Nonsense even offered me a link to come up, but I was like, I can't. Like, I need to get gas and run to Sonic and get back home because we got to go to the fair. But yeah, she was like, I don't have an issue with Al. And so I was like, okay, yeah, she don't have an issue with me. And I chatted in the chat. There were people that was, you know, wanting to hold me accountable for things that Molly has done in the past before I even knew her. Like, well, what about what Molly said about this person? way back, 2 years ago. And I'm like, listen, when I collab with someone, I am not responsible for what they
Mm,
do that I'm unaware of. Like I can't help that. Like
yeah.
collabing is great to network with people. It's great to help build your channel and theirs to, I mean it's a great thing to do. And it's fun to collab with people. So I'm like, I don't know why, like collabing is a good idea. Now, have I collabed with people and then later on be like, oh, yeah, that I don't want to be associated with
Shouldn't
that
have done
person.
that. Yep.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Absolutely. Heck, I was on Katie's channel back in 2019. Of course I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, whoops. But I was like, yeah, no, I don't owe Katie an apology. And she's not going to get one. And then Nonsense was like, yeah, no, LB, y'all, she doesn't owe Katie an apology. Katie doesn't owe her an apology. Like, that's not what we're here for. And I was like, I mean, I thought it was a pretty decent experience. And then I get off and I have people contacting me. You were just on, is this really you that was really on Nonsense channel? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, we thought somebody had a fake account. We didn't think that was you. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
it's me. And then I get home and I'd like talk to Sean about it. And he's like, no, they've called you a scammer before. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she wasn't singing that tune when I was in her chat. She said she liked me. She
exactly.
didn't have a problem with me. So whatever. But yeah, now I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go into chats of people that I don't know because I don't want to have that
You don't
experience
know
again.
what's in behind your back.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like all I knew is the Nonsense channel. People questioned whether or not it was Katie. So I thought if I
No,
could
it's definitely
listen,
not Katie. Definitely not
yeah.
Katie.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it would be. I mean, they even didn't they do like a collab together at one point with
Which was
Nonsense?
hilarious.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. So was Katie actually face? You could see her?
No, no, she used a second account, and the thing that got me was apparently, remember Katie was talking about the Britney chick?
The what
The
chick?
Britney chick that posed as an attorney.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That was has something to do with the Marvon.
Yeah, so apparently Britney and Nonsense are apparently acquaintances.
The girl that pretended to be an attorney is friends with Nonsense.
Uh-huh. So
Acquaintances.
Nonsense was taking up for her, and Katie was not impressed.
Really? Well, I probably need to go watch that. I wonder if it's still up.
Yes, it's definitely, yeah. But the thing is that I'm still trying to wrap my mind around because Uni said you're supposed to have let out his final product on this whole scam, on this whole fraud on Monday.
I'll wipe my butt with its final product.
And then I think yesterday I checked, but it wasn't up. Oh, the other conspiracy or the other theory is that Charlotte is working with Molly. So
Yeah, I really don't think people understand this, but I have never been friends with creators that like work together, like behind the scenes for some like weird agenda. I've never seen that happen. That's
it's
crazy that
like,
people think that.
can't people, some things are just common sense, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean,
Or have
Charlotte doesn't
just be
like Katie.
objective. That's all you got to do. But no,
Right. I mean, Charlotte doesn't like Katie. I mean, Charlotte has even CC Suarez. Like when CC Suarez was like on Molly's channel one time and like said something about not liking Katie, and like Charlotte like read it out and kind of laughed about it. Um, yeah, I don't think Molly has anybody on her payroll or has anybody that is working for her for any sort of agenda. Not that I think.
it's not even, it doesn't even cross my mind because, like you say, Molly doesn't need anybody to do anything for her.
Mm,
And at the end of the day, it's like, go ahead, prove how Molly has scammed, prove
right.
how Miss Leticia has scammed, and let's keep it moving so we can hold these people accountable.
Right. Because I'm like, if somebody scammed, I want to know. I donate it to them. I donate it to Marvon Sr. as well as Miss Leticia. And like,
Mhm.
I have a family. I don't want to give money to somebody that's using it for BS, which
Right.
here's the thing, just like Molly said, if she was to have used my money that I donated to her, um, to go out to eat one night, and that freed up money for when she went to go see Marvon, I would not have an issue with that. Now, they twisted that too when Molly said that, because I was watching the
Right,
panel.
right.
I maybe was even on the panel that time where Molly said, if she uses, my donation to get a steak dinner, I don't care. And then they twisted that to say, they twisted it that where Molly said if she uses the donations to get a steak dinner, and that's definitely not what Molly said, but that's the way that I feel about it as well. As long as, she was really putting in that effort to try to get information on Vaughn and go see Vaughn. And it wasn't just one of these things like, oh, my poor son, and then taking all this money and not, caring about what really happened to Vaughn or trying to make that effort. But yeah, the thing is when you make accusations against somebody, it's your job to prove them. It's not their job to disprove it. It's your job to prove it.
No.
You're the one that said it, so prove it. Where's your
And I mean,
proof?
it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, first of all, when I donate, okay, that's out of my hands. I did it out of the goodness of my heart. That's it. I don't even claim all that on my taxes at the end of I don't do all that shit.
Right.
Because people need it for a reason. And obviously, when you're going through something like this, other things come up. So it's like, even if you take that money, pay your bill, go for it.
Right. That's the way that I
You
am.
know?
Like, even if, as long as you are really trying to do what you said you were trying to do, because the way that I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, Marvon's in a coma. He's going to be in the hospital for a while. He may even get put into like a long-term facility. His mom may have to go see him, even if it's once every 2 or 3 months who knows? This could be a 6-month situation. This could be a 1-year situation. We don't know. So if she's having to go see him once a month, once every 2 months, that is going to be an expense for her. So
yeah.
I don't mind helping. I would be glad to, to help with that. Even if she takes my money and she uses it for something else. So when that time comes that she gets to go visit Marvon, she has funds available. Like, I was fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they need a scapegoat. So unfortunately now, okay, they've stopped with Miss Leticia. I've seen they've stopped for a while now. They're on to Molly. So here goes.
I don't think Molly cares, really. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Molly cares. She's kind of like, whatever. And that's kind of the way that I've gotten with them too. When you deal with people like Unirock and Katie and people that follow them, you just got to kind of be like, whatever, because they are the type of people that will sit there and be like, where's the proof? Where's the proof? All the while, they're not showing a bit of evidence, or they twist things to make it look like evidence. And then when they get caught doing something, and you're like Katie with the Ronald McDonald situation, she has never provided proof.
Never will provide proof.
And never will. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Unirock has admitted that Katie is a liar, that she is a doxer. So I'm like, why aren't you spending, you know what? I honestly think if Unirock flipped and started calling Katie out for all these things and started trying to hold her accountable and accusing her of being a scammer the way that he has other people, I think it could work well for his channel. I mean, I think people would watch that. I mean, I don't know, Unirock, just pitching that idea to you. Not a lot of people like Katie. And if you flipped on her after being her friend, I think you could get the views. But
yeah.
It's really wild that, Unirock does this and doesn't put out any evidence, just like when my channel went down back in 2019, right? The thing is they will say things that like people that isn't like a creator wouldn't know, right? So back in 2019, when Katie literally on her community tab and on Instagram told people to report me on when I went down, her and Unirock said I had 3 copyright strikes. They're like, she's down for 3 copyright strikes. People that don't have a channel wouldn't know this. And maybe even some people with channels wouldn't know this. But if you get 3 copyright strikes, your channel is deleted. It's terminated. Katie knows that for sure. And I know that she knows that. I have recordings of her saying that multiple times after the fact. I have literally when Janelle struck her, and then the woman that had the adopted son that she like returned to the adoption agency, Huxley. Like the Huxley's mom and Janelle both struck her, and it would have been a total of like 4 times if all of them would have went through. And Katie admitted, if you get 3 strikes, you're out. And I'm like, exactly. So they even knew while pushing this narrative on people that it wasn't true. They knew that I didn't get 3 strikes because they knew my channel would have been deleted permanently. It wouldn't have just been, I would have been down, I was down for a few days. There was Katie, when she talked about my finances, they say things in a way to where it almost makes it make sense. Where if you don't know any better, you might could believe it sometimes. Sometimes they just sound like idiots, but sometimes they will say things to make it sound like if you don't know really, you could believe it, So there's some things, I could understand his and her people maybe believing, like the stuff concerning me with my channel. I kind of got it. I was like, I could see why people would think that because they don't know YouTube the way that we know YouTube.
Right.
But Katie knew better. I mean, she lied knowing that she was lying. Uni lied knowing that he was lying. But there's sometimes they just say things where I'm like, yeah, I don't know anyone that will believe that.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, Alby. Sorry.
I don't know you're fine.
Are you serious without a crystal balls?
Don't tell me the man that's calling people out don't pay for his kids. Really?
No.
Come on now. You got to be kidding me.
What?
Can that be gotten with like a FOIA? How do we get that? I mean, I'm sorry, but in my mind, like, sorry people is like people that don't take care of their kids. Like that's one of the lowest. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take care of your kids, is he really not paying? Is this current situation that he's not paying his child support? I mean, I've always heard that he lives in his mom's basement. I don't know if that's true. Does anyone know if that's true? Does he really live in his mom's basement?
No, she says she's dead serious and she has it all. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, but if Unirock is so big and bad, wanting to call people out for scammers, and he ain't even paying his little child support. Hold up, didn't he?
There's your answer, Alby. There's your answer.
His girlfriend's mom. Hold up, it ain't even his mom's basement. He ain't even living in his mom's basement, but it's his girlfriend's mom's basement. You know what, Unirock, don't say another word about me or nobody else, because at least I got my own house and my kids are taken care of. And at least Molly got her own house and her kids are taken care of. And at least everybody I know, I mean, how can you call someone out when you literally live in a basement, your girlfriend's mom's basement, wearing your fingerless gloves and your dirty wife beater, and you don't pay your child support? I can't. Who does he think he is?
Without a crystal ball, I suggest you shut down your Twitter. I'm not checking my comments. Alby, shut down.
We're gonna get attacked for this. Don't go after the kids. Don't bring his kids into this. I'm defending his kids. He should be taking care of them. He's begging for money for Red Bull and babes, but isn't paying his child support. You know what? I mean, I would have more respect for him if he was like, hey, donos for the child support, rather than donos for the vape. I literally heard one recording where he was like, if you go ahead and send a dono right now before my live stream later tonight, I could go ahead and get stocked up on Red Bull. I mean, not a big deal. You don't have to. But if you do now, I can go ahead and get. So I'm like, this dude really ain't got like $10 to go get a couple of Red Bulls before his live stream. He's literally saying, if you send me the money now, I can go ahead and go get my Red Bulls. If not, not a big deal. Just send them whenever, and I'll get the Red Bulls later. I'm like, dude, that's pretty bad that you're asking people to donate early before the live stream so you can afford to buy your Red Bulls before the live stream.
And then he even said, I remember the one time he even said, I think that night you were showing about Steve McCray and this whole adult. Somebody was watching an adult between me, him, and Aaron. But anyway, he says, no, I can. What's the service that delivers you stuff? DoorDash.
DoorDash,
He
yeah.
says, I can know if you send it later, I can always DoorDash it to my house. I'm like, what? Who DoorDashes Red Bulls?
Shut up. I think, you know what? The Unirock. DoorDash is Red Bulls. At least I can afford my own Red Bulls, Unirock, and pay for my kids. My goodness. That is crazy. He thinks he looks like Brett Michaels. I mean, I don't know who lied to him, and I guess he don't have a mirror. I guess he don't have a mirror in his house. That's Tara. I'm glad you said that. The thing is he goes deep into people, just like with Miss Leticia. He talked about her arrest. He talked about Marvon Senior's arrest. He talked about fights with between Marvon Senior's wife and ex-wife, Miss Leticia. But God forbid anybody was to put out that he don't pay his child support. It would be, we are the worst of the worst. We're terrible people. How dare we? Like you say, they moved the goalpost. Like, what is acceptable for them to do? They could do it all day long. But let us do something even remotely like that. And then it's, oh, no. You can't do that. Don't you dare. And then all his little uni boppers, they're over there bouncing around. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done it. You're so bad. You're so bad. You're not the sweet little Southern woman that we thought you are. I'm sorry. I never said I was. I mean, I am nice, but I have another side of me that when I get ticked off, like everybody does. But that's what I hear the most from like Katie's people and like Uni's people is, you're not that sweet little girl that you pretend to be. First off, I'm here enough. I think people realize this is not, I'm here with my husband. I've been on with my mom. I've been on with my sisters. It's not fake, but I also can get rowdy too. And I can get irritated and I can get a little crazy if need be. If you look
Thank
down.
you, FBF, for the super chat. You do look like you've trimmed down. I have a ton of weight to share if you need. Yeah, well, this is fun. I have games to go play. Have a good night. Thank you so much for the
Are
super
you
chat.
on a diet? Because I thought that a while ago too. I was like, did Renelle lose some weight?
Oh hell no! I've been so busy with my child. They all have robotics going on. So my older daughter's competing in high school, and my younger daughter's competing in middle school.
That's so fun,
So
isn't
it's
it?
been it's like
My
there's not
daughter was
enough
in
time in the day.
my daughter was in robotics, and I loved it. I thought it was super cool.
It's
We don't
but the
we
thing
don't
is,
have it here.
oh, you don't?
We don't have it here, but where she used to live, we had it, and they built like these little robots, and they
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
compete, and it was super cool.
Now, my dad is actually building something for them. I see what my back porch looks like. I don't even go there because I'll pull my hair out. So I'm like, oh no! And then it's the fundraising for them. These kids, these schools are so underfunded. It's sad. It
You know
truly is
what?
sad.
I was
So,
scared to fundraise for my kids for a while for their school
mhm,
stuff on my private Facebook. I was
yeah.
because of the whole the fraudulent fundraiser, the fraud raiser, what Unirock named it, which was so crazy because what Steve did for me in that stream, and I think you get along with Steve. Me and Steve, we're not best buds. You know what I'm saying? The thing is I've always been able to like, even if I don't like you, if something is wrong, I'll say that. Just like everybody thinks that I hate Katie so bad that I'll blame her for anything. I was literally the first one to call Nat out. I was like the first one to say Nat's story's not adding up and these screenshots look fake. If I hated Katie so much that I would just blame her for anything, I would have zipped it and went right along with it. Oh no, poor Nat. Katie's done her so wrong. But I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I so forgot the whole point of it. So whenever that happened, whenever my channel went down, Steve invited me on. I didn't even know he was going to do like, hey, I'll give you my super chats. I mean, could you imagine if right now you told me, hey, I'm having a good time, so I'm just going to give you my super chats that I make tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, everybody's like, Renelle had a fundraiser for LB. Like, what? That's not a fundraiser. It's not a fundraiser to tell someone you're going to give them your super chats from the live stream
Right.
you did. So first off, it was never a fundraiser. Second off, they turned it into, Unirock and Katie turned it into, because I wasn't paying my car note, my bankruptcy, my car note, I had Steve, this man that I didn't even know that well, I told him about my finances. And this is not really what really happened, you guys, but this is what Katie and Unirock said, that I told a man on YouTube that I barely knew, hey, I can't pay my bills. I'm not paying my car note. It's about to be repoed. So can we do like a fundraiser or something on your channel? I don't know. Can you give me your super chats or something? I don't know. That's the best I can come up with. I mean, could you imagine? That's what Katie and Unirock said, that I basically hired Steve to have this fundraiser, give me his super chats, so I could pay my car note. Which the thing is my car note wasn't behind. I was in bankruptcy. I've been in bankruptcy for 3 years. It wasn't a new development. Our payments were kind of high, but we wasn't behind on it. But Katie says because I lied on her, she went digging to see why I lied on her.
And why people's finances? Why are you shaming people for their finances? Doesn't everybody go through a bad
yeah, it was to try to embarrass me. The thing is I wasn't embarrassed about me being in bankruptcy. I've been in bankruptcy for 3 years. Me and Sean both have worked since we were 17 years old. We had a decent life, you know. He worked as an assistant driller, making like 8 to 10K a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did well. I had a Yukon. I still have a Yukon. He has a Ford F-250 that was fairly new when he got laid off. It was 2016 when the oil industry crashed and everyone got laid off. I mean, we made it like a year of savings before we finally had to file bankruptcy, you know? I wasn't embarrassed by it. But she went looking, and then she said, I made a big payment right after the fundraiser. It's so crazy because she says she hasn't made a payment in 3 months. So they were getting ready to repossess her car. Then she says she made a payment in October. She made a big payment in November, but yet December 6th, they sent me the letter they were going to repo. Where's the 3 months I missed? Was that like in September or something? I'm confused because you listed my October payment. You said I made a big payment in November. What company?
Just hold on 1 second, Al. Good night. Without a crystal ball, please let me know. Give me a heads up when you're posting all the information.
Good night without a crystal ball. Yeah, I want to see that so I can say something about it. So I can put my 2 cents in about it. Wow. I'm surprised that this man would feel like he has the right to say anything after not paying for his kids. But yeah, it was wild even to hear her talk about it, the live stream, to hear her talk about how I wasn't paying my payments, but then her noting that I made the payments. And then just reading the chat, oh, they messed with the wrong one. You're a great investigator, Katie. It was like, what? Are y'all not listening to what she's saying? She's literally talking about the fact that I am making my payments. So, and also, like, if you file bankruptcy, the car company just can't come get your car, even if you're not paying it. Like, there's a whole process that goes into it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so wild. It was the fraud raiser is what they called it. And I'm like, what? You know, some people can put 2 and 2 together. Katie called for a mass flagging that morning on Instagram and on her community post. By 6 o'clock that evening, my channel was down.
Wow.
She's admitted to it. I literally have like screenshots of her admitting to it in Uni's stream, even saying somebody named Dragnot taught her how to do it. She even asked her moderators, do you have trolls that can mass flag? Earlier that day. Yeah, she had one of her 2 main outside of Jessie Bear was Tiny Dancers and Dreads. They were her 2 big mods, like main mods, you know. And Jessie Bear contacted me like 2 days after my channel went down, saying like, not Jessie Bear, Tiny Dancer, Kendra, saying, hey, I'm sorry, but I have to let you know, Katie's denying doing this. But earlier that day, she messaged me asking me if I had trolls that knew how to mass flag. And I told,
Wow.
yeah, and she said, it's through this that I'm done with her. Kendra and Dred saw her instruct this, ask them, do y'all know how to mass flag? Do y'all know how to mass flag? And then when it happened, say, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. So they were like, yeah, we don't want nothing to do with you. Oh yeah, I do too, Llama Girl. I got all the proof. Like, if I'm doing a deep dive on Katie, it's taking me a while. I'm writing this big old script that's going to be a freaking book this thick. I mean, literally, my script to Katie's deep dive is going to be like this. And people's going to have their own little chapters. And literally, it's been in the works for like over a month already. We have like over 60 people. I've even hired a script writer to help me with this because it's there's so much. But yeah, I have. And then she says, Unirock tried to say, oh, the video that Leslie said went down didn't come down until like 10 days afterwards, which was not true. It wasn't true. It went down immediately. But then Katie said on Twitter later on, I don't know what happened. I just woke up that morning and the video was gone. So wait, was it gone that morning or was it gone 10 days later? You guys need to get your story straight. Right. So if people really pay attention to what Katie and Unirock say when they talk about the same stories, you'll catch them in lies. I don't know how either one of them keep an audience. I mean, well, I do know how. I mean, even Marilyn Manson had fans. You know what I'm saying? Even Chris Watts had fans. So, in my opinion, Unirock is like, I don't want to.
Didn't Katie also say that she learned how to troll from Unirock? I saw that the other day. I was watching some of these clips.
I know she's admitted to trolling. And I don't know if she said she learned it from Unirock, but
I know I heard that.
I know she's admitted to trolling more than once. I mean, there's even a clip of Unirock in the beginning where he admits that he knows that that Katie was a troll back before. It's so weird, Renelle, because I don't know. You weren't around when Unirock and Steve busted up.
Mm-mm.
You want me to tell you how that went down? It's wild. Okay. They were friends. They were working together, going live, every other night or maybe every night to talk about Katie. Unirock had tried to get in touch with Katie through Twitter. She blocked him and he would show proof. I politely asked her to talk and she blocked me. So Unirock had literally done videos saying, Katie is a troll. I have proof that Katie is a troll. Katie falsely accused Steve. Katie lied about this. I mean, there's a video out there of him saying all these things. One night, Steve and Unirock was live. I think like Bullinator was on there, maybe Red's Rhetoric. There were a few people on. I was watching. And Uni goes to say something. And what he was saying wasn't entirely accurate. So Steve's like, no, that's not how it happened. And Unirock's like, hold on, I'm not done. Let me finish. And Steve's like, but you're not saying it correctly. So I think Unirock muted Steve or something along those lines. So Steve just left the stream. That ticked Steve off. It made him mad. So he went to Twitter and he tweeted immediately that what Unirock was saying on his stream was not entirely correct. If he wouldn't have shushed him, he could have righted what Unirock was saying wrong. Well, the second that people in the chat's like, oh, Steve's tweeting about you, he's mad at you, Unirock immediately flips right then. Yep. Oh, really? He's tweeting about me? Oh, he wants to talk about me. You know what, Steve? Screw you, Steve. Where's the email, Leslie? I didn't even know this man. I had never talked to Unirock. He was gonna. Steve enlisted Unirock's help to prove that Katie took my channel down and that Katie was all that everybody says that she is. And he was well with doing that. He had already started that process and put out videos saying that she was a liar and she was a troll and she was a this and she was a that. He had messaged me earlier that day, Unirock did, saying, hey, this Unirock, I'd like to talk to you. You can call me later on my office phone. Is that the basement? The bathroom in the basement? What's your office phone? But so I was like, Sean had just got home from work. So I was like, hey, my husband just got home. Give me about an hour and I'll hit you up. Before I could hit him up, he was live. So I had plans. I was going to talk to him, answer any questions that he had. And then the next thing I know, I'm watching, that happens. And Unirock's just, screw you, Steve. I was going to help you. You know what? Where's the email, Leslie? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know this guy, but now he's yelling at me on the stream. I don't even know him. So screw you, Unirock. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. It literally, it was that moment that they busted up. That's what it was. From that point on, Unirock was talking crap about Steve. Steve was talking crap about Unirock. And then everything that Unirock had said and said that he found proof for, it was
No proof.
no, it was no more. That didn't happen. He never said Katie was a troll. He literally had Katie talk to Katie just a few days later and was like, oh, she was so nice. She explained everything to me, made it make sense. And then just completely went back on everything that he had been saying for the past few weeks. So all of a sudden on Katie's side, that was literally what it was. It was wild. It was wild to see that.
It's like, how do they do it? I want to pull my hair out listening to his streams, but then I have to do it because there's so much shit that he speaks and spews out. It's like unbelievable. And it's like him and Katie just can't seem to separate. They'll have their little disagreements, but then they'll come back together again.
Mm-hmm.
So
you want to know why? You want to know why? Because they are all each other has. That's all. When she needs someone to support and have her back, she don't have anybody else. So she'll go crawling back to Unirock. And she, in my opinion, offers him a little bit of money. And he's like, yeah, well, anytime I do this, I get views. So let me go ahead and do it. But Unirock's new PR person, think that it would be a great idea if he flipped once and for all on Katie and called her out for all the things. He's got enough proof. She's been in the Discord. He has messages with her. I'm sure he's got plenty of proof to show that she is what we all think that she is. Flip for one last time, Unirock, come on. I'm sure you could get great views. Do it. That's what he should do, in my opinion. That's all he cares about, in my opinion, is the views.
But I mean, he's got such a huge channel. Doesn't he have a Rock-A-Lot too that has over 20,000?
Okay, one of his channels got terminated, from my understanding. Rock-A-Lot too, I think. So he had a Rock-A-Lot, just regular Rock-A-Lot, and because I heard him say not too long ago that one of his channels got deleted. And if YouTube deleted it for being in violation of guidelines, guess what? If YouTube deletes one of your channels, they are also supposed to delete any other channels, the same user. So I don't know if YouTube deleted him, but if they did and he's running that channel and somebody reports him for being a channel that's been taken off YouTube, but started up, I think he'd get in trouble for that. But he has Rock-A-Lot that's got almost 5,000. And then, so I think his first channel was Unirock. Let me see. And am I right, Llama Girl? Was Rock-A-Lot. I'm not even seeing anything other than.
Alby, didn't you cover the response Katie Joy gave for the 7M lawsuit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a bunch of deny. I didn't do it.
You still got that paperwork with you?
Yes, I think so. I think I have it. Do you need it?
I just needed to check something because I think Katie Joy's lead attorney has left her.
Are you talking about Graham Cracker?
No.
The woman?
Yes.
I did hear that. I thought they were saying Graham Cracker was going to leave her because she wasn't paying him.
No, the other one left her.
The other one left her? What was her name? I saw her in one of her hearings.
Yes, the last time she appeared was in court. Remember with 7M?
Yes.
Over Zoom or something?
I think I was on that one. Does
Yeah.
anybody know her name?
Because
I'll
if
see
you
if I can
notice,
find
graham crackers all in the forefront now.
out. Ain't
Because
it?
on her original, graham cracker was just the second in charge, and I was like, what? And now he's just all over this.
I wonder if I could get her name, I could probably try to find it. I'll look at that paperwork. But yeah, and the answer to that, she just literally denied everything, which was strange because I'm like, they have proof of this. And if I was, I mean, Renelle, if you're a judge and you're sitting in your robe in court and they're like, Mrs. Paulson did XYZ, but Mrs. Paulson says she didn't. And then they roll the TV out there, they put in a tape, and it shows Mrs. Paulson doing what she
Saying
just
all
said she
these
did.
things.
You know what I would immediately think? Well, Mrs. Paulson is a liar. She probably lied about everything else. That's what immediately would go into my head. Like, if you lie about one thing, then more than likely you're lying about everything. And I would be like, judgment awarded in the amount of $10 billion. You're the winner because you're a liar, Mrs. Paulson. And I'd be like, you're done with YouTube too. You don't need a platform. He does have UniRock too that has 20,000 subs.
Yeah, I thought it was mafia.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Katie Joy clearly feels that she got this in the bag, like she had the other two in the bag. But it's also like there's documents of you saying all this shit about these people.
That's the crazy
So how can you
thing.
deny?
It's so wild that she would, because I mean, the thing is they got this stuff before they ever even filed the lawsuit. I mean, when you're going to sue someone, you get all the evidence first. I mean, my lawyer has had everything that Katie and UniRock said about me from like the beginning of my career up until like January 2022, maybe February 2022. Everything that like Katie and UniRock has said about me, like my lawyer has all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. Just in case. Nobody sues you for talking crap about them on video without getting a copy of the video. That way, if you go delete it, you still have it. Uni is still going after Molly. He is saying 4 other creators. So I figure Justin, Alby, and I don't know who is the 4th. I don't know. So wild.
And this, I 100% actually believe that she is writing her own papers, and graham cracker just stamps it.
That's what I think too. That's what I think too. Yep.
Because she did that in the Tati Westbrook case. She actually admitted that.
And my lawyer once told me, not my lawyer for when I sued the police, but my lawyer when me and my baby daddy was going to go to court for custody for my older kids. He told me, he said, if you want to save on expenses, you can like write everything up yourself and then I'll file it for you, or I might could have even filed it. He might just needed to sign off on it or something, but it was a way to save money. I mean, I did a lot of the legwork for that. And then thankfully their dad was like, never mind, and he agreed to not take me to court and us have just a visitation plan in place. But yeah, I mean, I did a lot of the legwork there. So I know you can. Some lawyers will offer, like if you don't have the money to pay them, they'll say, well, you do most of the legwork and I'll sign, where it needs my signature, and that'll be that.
So I'm assuming UniRock is live now?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, Molly Golightly and 4 others. It's done. My report to YouTube and Team YouTube explained.
Oh, his report is finally done.
Yay, the big reveal. You know what? I've been waiting because didn't they say like the police were involved in coming to like confiscate our devices or whatever? I've been waiting.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that like they had said that, like the police in our towns were like getting ready to like come confiscate our computers or whatever. And I'm like, I'm ready. You guys, y'all, I don't even talk to Molly. Like even going on her panel, like when I first joined, like talking to Molly and Justin, Justin or Molly or somebody made a little group chat with me, Molly, and Justin, and it's like hardly anything in there. Like the people actually think that I talk to Molly like a lot behind the scenes. I never did. Like I really do not talk to her that often. Like I haven't even talked to her in weeks and weeks and weeks. And even when we were working together, literally, I would text Justin to be like, "Hey, let Molly know that I plan on going live at this time," because I've heard Molly say that she gets like bombarded with messages and all of that, that she doesn't even get to check half of them. And I understand that because that happens to me a lot
No
too.
way. Sorry.
No, 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 no,
Oh my
no,
God.
no, 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 no. Let me see this.
Oh my gosh. Embryo, do they say where? This is so sad. Oh my. Oh
I'm
God.
not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. Hold on.
A landfill. Oh, thank you, Embryo. Oh, I hope you're saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. I can understand if you need to go out because you need to go live for this.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find anything.
That poor baby, you're so right.
I'm gonna get in touch with the lady that I know that's working on this. I was supposed to be live for member stream at 8 o'clock.
I'm so sorry, Al.
I've been having such a good time. Brunel, we're gonna have to do this again. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna hop on over to my member stream really quickly
Okay, Al, have a
and see
good
if I can
one.
get.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much
you
for joining
so
us.
much. Absolutely, thank you so much for having me. I'll see you later. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
bye, Al. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. Mhm. Oh my goodness, let me go right back to you guys. These comments have been so rude. I apologize. Oh, my heart is broken. I think KJ thinks she's rude, but it against, but so, I don't know how many times Uni has said he was going to drop a deep dive. Well, obviously now we know his deep dive is alive and well. I hope Leticia is doing well. I truly do. Katie Joy will never produce it. Katie Joy will never produce her own receipts. Everybody else's receipts she'll be glad to give. Oh my goodness. Unilock might as well be on a skirt and heel because it acts like a biatch. Oh goodness. He believed she would have over 1 million subs in 2 years ago, and so yeah, I also saw that on thing. That was sad. Can you ride on somebody else's coattails? Unbelievable. I know Twitter and yeah, this is so sad, you guys. It's been missing for a whole week. Mm. Who's still digging? Katie Joy? A 19-year-old who was walking to work 3 years remains were found today, two in a house less than a mile from her home. Her brother took his life 9 months after she went missing. Oh my goodness, that is so sad. I thought I saw an upload that Ray did that was recent. She said she was living in Yuma and traveling to Tucson. Kel, I actually just saw Truth Seeker. She actually uploads and she made this. Dre actually did a live where she was telling people she doesn't want to hear about the negative. She only wants to be positive about this. And she's gave up all her sins to Jehovah, and Jehovah has forgiven her. I'm like, what sins did you give up? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Mm. Is that the person called yourself the person deflection by Hanover? Why would this is truly sad. Why can't people just say, you know what, I'm sorry, I can't look after the child. There you go. Take him. This is absolutely so sad, you guys. It's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. How old was he? 3 years old? Can anybody tell me? How old was he? 3? And his name was Quentin. Oh man, exactly. Unbelievable. Is that why the mother didn't want to talk? The grandmother was going ballistic, but apparently the mother didn't even speak about it. I'm all but in a heartbeat, I take a love. I would do the same thing. And her daughter did it. What? And she didn't even have 20 months old, Miss Inquisitive. 20 months old. Wow. Because people like KJ and the mob come after them like they did Micah's daughter. She did, but people condemned her to the high heaven. Yep, absolutely. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate you, and hope you guys have a wonderful evening, rest of your week, and oh, my heart is sore. Thank you guys so much. Please be safe out there, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.